Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Well, guys, my voice is a little bit better, but for 2 days I wasn't on here because I didn't really have much of a voice at all. And what was happening is I had a bad cold and it was affecting my sinus, and it's not a good place to be. So I had to rest my voice for 2 days. Um, it's a little better. I was really concerned because couldn't talk at all. It was like a whisper when I was talking. But it just shows me how important it is to continue to take care of myself, and that people shouldn't come to work sick, regardless of what's going on, or I don't know, wear masks or do whatever it is. But it's so important that we take care of ourselves. And I can remember just a time that my mom worked so much that she rarely went to doctors like I do today. I always stay on top of things, you know. And as she got older and she retired and enjoyed, some of her retirement before she really got ill, um, she could have enjoyed more of her retirement and been here longer. I felt if she really just changed the way her diet and just took care of herself and paid more attention to the things that was going on with her health, I really believe that she would have been here today. But when you have to do what you have to do sometimes, um, life happens, but it's still important that we take care of ourselves. And that's why I changed the way I eat and the way I do things. It's so hard. Guys, I want to tell you a story before I get into the topic of discussion. I was in this area the other day and I was looking around at certain things. Now, I grew up in New York, and food to me growing up, that's why it's so hard for me to change, when it comes to my eating habits. Because I don't know if you guys know this story, but my grandparents had 12 children, and they had 11 at the time that were living. And my grandmother would get up because my grandfather owned a farm. They had horses, chickens, pigs, all types of animals, right? And so my grandmother would get up at the crack of dawn, and she would make all this good food. Oh my God, it was like pancakes, eggs, sausage, orange juice, sliced apples, sliced oranges. We had so much, I can't even remember, but the tables were like those long tables because there was so many of us at the time. And she would just, and she loved to cook, and she would just make all this good food. And, my mom, traditionally learned to cook as well. My mother was such a good cook, and she loved to cook on Sundays. Sunday was her day, and she would cook food for the rest of the week. And it would be like eating your banana pudding, lemon meringue pie. She would make lasagna, my favorite macaroni and cheese from scratch, and biscuits, my grandmother's biscuits. So all those things, and trying to change my eating habits was very hard. So I'm getting to a point here because the other day I was in this town and I smelled this food, right? And I saw a store that I used to take my son to when I was a kid. I mean, when he was a kid. It's a fish fry place. They had all types of fish, especially the fried fish, the porgies and the whitings. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was so, like, I had this desire right then and there to get that. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that today because I already have this cold, but just smelling that and knowing how that tastes. Not that I'm not going to eat those things sometimes, but I can't do what I used to do. Like, for example, with coffee, I was drinking 5 cups of that a day. Now I'm down to one. I may have two, depending what type of day I'm having. But that's it. Everything else is tea. Like when I come on here, and then even when I'm not on here, I have tea. This tea I'm drinking is immune boosting tea. You can buy this at Walmart. You can order it online, but I usually buy it at the stores. It helps with your immune system, that especially with what's been happening with my voice, and just having a cold. So I always drink every day like a cup of immune system tea. And then I was drinking a throat um, coating tea with honey. Honey helps a lot. Lemon and honey. It's important to have that. And and I feel better. I realize how important it is to take care of my health. And I've been doing that. Resting is the most difficult because I need to get more hours of sleep, and I'm working on doing that as well. So, people, if you have those kind of issues, just change some things around. I know, it's kind of hard, but little by little, because it will benefit you in the long run. So, guys, with all that being said, you know, thank God today I'm able to do a video, because before I was just whispered. You really couldn't hear me. And you could see it's not fully gone yet, but I'm going to be resting for the next few days. So, anyway, how are you guys doing? I hope you're enjoying this beautiful weekend. The weather is good. I was out earlier and it's a beautiful day. People are out, they seem to be in a good mood, and that's a good thing. School is also out as of yesterday, so the kids are out as well. And a lot of people be taking vacations, going away, etc. So, guys, if you're going away anywhere, just be safe and have a good time. So, with all of that being said, let's get into this topic of discussion today. And the title is Stay Focused and Keep Healing. Regardless of where you're going or where you are at in life, it's important, to self investment, to invest in yourself and your mental and physical healing. Because with everything that's going on in this world, and some of the things that are happening are very negative, and that's why I don't watch a lot of news. I may watch 5 minutes of it, then I have to turn it off because it kind of gets depressing. And I like to keep my vibes high. I need to know what's going on. That's important. We all do. But yet, I don't need to watch it, like my father would, around the clock watching the news. That's not something that I enjoy doing, because it can bring down your vibrations as well. And it's so toxic. So I watch enough to know what's happening. And then I will go and turn on some music or watch some videos or do things that I enjoy doing, comedy shows. Sometimes the DVR, because I work in a lot. So what I do is take my shows that I love to watch, and then like on the weekends, I catch up with it. Do things that bring joy to you, that make you feel good about yourself, And sometimes when you change things in your life, like myself, I was so subservient in the past to other people. And now I'm not that same person anymore, and people don't know how to deal with me. And, I had to cut off a lot of individuals and change a lot of things in my life in order for me to grow, heal, and to evolve. It was important that I grow, and heal, because from 2020 up until 2022, I lost a lot. I talk about it in prior videos. And for during that time, guys, I was like fighting with God a lot because it was so much. And it was like a domino effect. Soon as one thing happened, then, shortly thereafter, something else. And then again and again. It's like stacking up dominoes, and then you hit one, the whole line of dominoes fall down. That's what it felt like during that time frame. And what was happening is that it just started to feel like the walls were closing in. And I was fighting and arguing with God. But at that time, what I didn't realize is that God was allowing things to happen so that I can see them for what they were and not for what I wanted it to be. He just broke everything down and showed me so much irrefutable proof of what was happening around me with the individuals and situations that I had around me at that particular time. And I didn't want to see it because, people and things were wearing masks. And I was looking at the mask and not seeing the true self behind the mask. And as I started to see that, I had to cut off, block, and delete. And it wasn't easy. It took a lot of strength, and it took a lot of me moving forward because it was so important for me to take care of me. Because while I was, subservient to other people, I was neglecting myself. My inner child, everything in my life was falling apart um, due to neglect and due to the fact that I wasn't, you know, um, taking care of myself, self investment. And I didn't know how to do that at the time. So I started at a place of therapy, which I do see my therapist every week. And as of yesterday, and things are so much better between us because in the beginning, it's hard to talk to him about a lot of things that was going on that I did not want to address. But I promise you, people, once you start to address certain issues, it's not fun. It can be uncomfortable, but it's for your benefit because as you see things in your life that's affecting you in a negative, you get to change that to make, you get to choose how your life in a direction you want it to go in. And when I say that, what I mean is that you get to take your power back from people who you handed your power over to. And that's what I did. I had handed my power over to other people, and it dimmed my light by doing that because now these people, were telling me this and that, and I was jumping, skipping, and hopping like a bunny rabbit, at their command. And I had to learn. God had to sit me down and show me you need to take your power back, cut off, block, and delete whatever I needed to do. And you need to take that energy and focus and put it in yourself. And I didn't know how to do that at first. Life, this journey called life doesn't come with a handbook. We have to figure it out. So, I went through all the trials and tribulation and pain and grief of it all. And then after the screaming and yelling and all of this with God, I did that for a year, very angry. One day I got up, I started to do the work. It was hard, it was painful, but it was worth it because I went from A to B to C to D to where I am today. I would never ever thought that I would be on a channel talking to you guys about my personal experiences and how I got through them because I was in such a bad place for so long. There was no way to get back up without God. And he showed me and helped me. And as I took steps, and I always say this and emphasize, as I took steps and took the initiative, I didn't know where it was going to lead me or take me, but I trust God. That he was behind the scenes taking 2, 3, and 4 steps. And if I fell down, I may be down a day or two, I would get right back up. Know the song from the 80s, I got knocked down, but I get up again. Nothing's going to keep me down. I started to have that attitude. And then this warrior spirit came over me. And as I started to see the progress, I'm not stopping. It doesn't matter who, what, or where. Because if God is for me, then who can be against me? Because if God has my back, He's going to be behind the scenes making sure that I move forward as I take those steps. But I had to invest in doing the work. And it's important to invest in doing the work for yourself. Because when you go through all these trials and tribulations, you are affected, scarred by it. Your mental and physical health, and it suffers. And only you can invest in you. And it's important. Never let anyone tell you that you're not worth it or important. You are. You are. And as you sit down and do the work, even just taking 2 hours out of your schedule a day for yourself, doing things to build you up, taking care of yourself, making sure, go to the doctor, make sure you're okay. And if there's any health issues, address them immediately. Do what's necessary. And what I do a lot of herbal stuff. And when I say herbal stuff, things like teas, things, healthy things, salads, and things that are going to keep me healthy. And I do a lot of researching online about certain things. Like, for example, um I'm going to tell you guys something. Like, I don't have there was a time in my life where I was very close to being a diabetic, and because of weight issues and etc. And I started to research about sugar, diabetes, and things like that, really get into the research. And I found out eating broccoli. And what I do, because this might help some of you guys, I buy a whole huge head of broccoli. I buy it like weekly. And I'll chop it up and put it in and boil it in water until it gets real soft. I don't put anything on it. I eat it like it is with my meals. And I do this 2 to 3 times a week. And when I went back to the doctor, that sugar thing was off the table. Because there's something, a substance in broccoli that helps with that. But you have to be consistent with this and eat this stuff. You don't have to eat it every single day, but enough. I eat it a few times a week, but I don't put anything on it. And I was doing that for about 3 or 4 months. I still do it. And the doctor was like, oh, okay. And it's certain things like that you, health wise, like there was a time that I had about 7 to 8 fibroids. And the doctor, doctors love to request surgery for every little thing, it seems. So I asked the doctor to give me 3 months, and then we could, talk about this again. I went and bought some fortified turmeric, pure raw fortified turmeric, and put that in a glass of water, drink that 2 to 3 times a day. And I did that for 3 months. And when I went back to the doctor, there was no sign of any um, fibroids. They were all gone. And the doctor couldn't believe it because at that time there was 7. And she did kept testing and testing, come back again. They were gone. There's certain things that you can do on a level that you don't have to have all these surgeries and things that can just get rid of these things. And that's what I spent a lot of time doing, research, finding out, trying these things out. And when something works, I stick with it. Because health to me is so important. Because without our health, whether it's physical or mental, we can't take care of ourselves, and we surely can't take care of anyone else or anything around us. So it is foremost on the table when, it comes to me. This is what I do, and I share these things with you guys because it is important to make ourselves a priority when it comes to our physical and mental health, you know. Otherwise, we may not be here, you know. And if you can find things other than surgeries, and I'm not talking about things that's going to make you sick, I'm talking about on a health wise thing to help you, with a certain situation, and you try it out and it works and helps you, that's what I do. Research is so important to me because I don't take things at face value of what people say. I do the research and then I dig deeper and see why this might be happening, and then change something that I might be eating or doing along with, purchasing something that's going to help. So I hope that information that I just shared will help some of you. And one of the good things about showing up on this channel, everything that I talk about, sometimes people are going through situations and problems and they don't openly talk about these things, for whatever reason. Not everyone is going to just sit and tell you what's going on with their life. However, they have an opportunity to show up here and hear messages. And whatever resonates with you, take that and use it to benefit your own situation, you know, because I'm not a therapist, I'm not a social worker of any sort. I don't have a certification in that in those areas. However, I'm someone who's gone through hell and back. I mean, this is why I know things when people come into me with toxicity and low vibrational and all that kind of stuff. I can just tune that out. I can, what's the term I'm trying to use? I can like sniff that out like a bloodhound, because the lessons I didn't learn from that right away. So I repeated a lot of them. And now I know what to look for. After I learned the lessons, I don't repeat them. I see what it is, see it for what it is, and then I learn from it and move on. And then the things that I talk about here on the channel and how I got through some of these things, may resonate with you and help you with your own personal situations. The thing that I would suggest to everyone and emphasize is therapy. I come from a family who don't believe in that, but it's important because, and you don't have to tell everyone your business. It's important to keep certain things to yourself, whether it's family members or whoever. You don't need to sit and share your entire business with other people. You know, you do what's necessary for yourself, and you talk to a therapist. You can do it on Zoom or you could do it in person, but connect with one that you vibe with, because in time, as you continue to see that therapist, you're going to open up more and share what really is going on. And he or she may give you some, share some information with you that may help you on this journey, because we all have something. None of us is perfect, you know. And people used to refer to me as Miss Perfect. There's nothing perfect about me. One thing I will tell you, there's nothing weak about me, as some people thought in the past. You know, I will continue to be consistent, move forward, research, do what I have to, and I stay in prayer a lot, you know, with God. And I keep my environment toxic free as much as possible. Anything that's a lot of toxicity and drama and craziness, I clean it out of my energy. I don't want it there because I have healed from those things. And once I learn lessons, I don't repeat them, because repeating them mean that when that lesson come around again, it's going to be worse than ever. You know, like I always say to you guys, life is things and situations and people come into your life for a reason, season, or a lifetime or a lesson, and we want to learn these lessons as quickly as possible so we don't have to repeat them. Continue healing. And it doesn't matter if people don't want to see you take care of yourself or whatever. I find that to be quite selfish, because we are supposed to take care of ourselves. We are supposed to self care, self love, you know? And getting back to the story about my anger and craziness with God during the time of the worst time of my life, one day after going through all of this, and one day I woke up, I did the work, I continued to do it. I started to see the progress. It was slow at first, but I continued on the path. And I made my peace with God, and I'm at a place of inner peace. And sometimes people want to stir the pot with that, because something happened the other day where somebody wanted that I made a mistake for something. Like I said, I'm not perfect. And he sat down and talked to me about the mistake. And he was ready, like I was going to get all out, bent out of shape. And I said, you know what? You're right. I did make that mistake. But thank you for bringing it to my attention, because now I have an opportunity to correct that mistake and make sure moving forward that that particular situation doesn't happen again. And he was floored, like, the look on his face. I'm not here to argue with people or whatever the situation. If I make mistakes, I'm going to own up to it and take accountability for it, because I'm imperfect just like everybody else. We are all in human form. We're human. We make mistakes. And there are people in this world who don't take accountability for their actions. Um, and they need to heal, is all I'm going to say about that. They need to get on a journey to heal, because we all make mistakes. And the important thing is to acknowledge these things and then to correct them as we can. And I'm in a space of peace. I'm not, going to get into a situation where I'm going to allow someone to get me to be toxic. I'm just going to say, okay, but, I just turned that entire situation around and, correct the situation. So, anyway, guys, that's the message today. I don't want to be on too long, because I'm still trying to take tea and this medicine stuff so that I can heal my voice completely. And, by next week, I should be better, as it sounds a little better today. But I wanted to get on here and talk to you guys, because some people need to be uplifted on a daily basis, because some people are really going through things. And like I said, some people have a support system where they can call up friends and family and talk to them about their situations. And some other people don't have that at all. And they may be in a corner in despair, hurting, and depression, and they need to be uplifted. So please invite people to show up here and to subscribe to the channel, because after you subscribe, even though I can't give a time as to when I'm going to be on, when I do come on, you get a notification that I'm on, and you can join me live or you can watch later. I want people to get encouraged and build up. Put yourself first. Take care of, when I say put yourself first, I mean in a way of self-care and building yourself up so that you can be the best version of yourself, and you can give your best to your family and to others, and one day, through your testimonies of what you've gone through, trials and tribulations, you can be out there talking about it as well, because somebody out there needs to hear your testimonies, because they may be going through something that you've gone through, and they may not know how to get through it. And you may say something that resonates with them and help them on that path that they're on. And it's important, because some people are in despair and at the point of hopelessness, and we don't ever want anyone getting to that place. So we are all here to help one another on this channel. It's not a judgment, it's a no judgment zone here, because we're here to uplift and to help everyone. And before I go today, I want to recognize those. I don't know how many are watching me, but I'm going to say happy Pride Day to you all. And yeah, that's the whole month of June. And thank you for showing up here again. Please invite others to the channel. And let's keep moving forward to help others. Thank you guys. You guys have a great weekend. I will be back here Monday. Look for me. I just don't know what time as of yet. But please hit the subscribe button. You will get a notification as to when I'm on. And enjoy this beautiful weather. I hope it's the same tomorrow as well. This is Lisa, always shedding love and light and encouraging you all. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.